Hi, this video I do an example model. I build it from scratch. The intersection is the Turbine Intersection in Jacksonville, Florida, United States. It is the SR9A and Butler Boulevard. So I use the background map in Vissim. If you don't have this background map module in your license, just extract a screenshot from Google Maps or Google Earth and just overlay it on your map. And just make sure that you put on some scale so you can scale it properly. Okay, let's start with the network settings. I just use miles per hour. If you are in the States, you can go all imperial. And speed limitation in curves, I just untick it in case people use old Vissim license or Vissim, all the Vissim versions. Okay, so what I do, I just show with a, what is it, section that I'm going to use model only like this area. But when we get to the edge of the model, I will discuss the situations, what to do with the situations when you have intersections very close, like on the south, on the north, basically on all arms. It is something to consider. So I will discuss it when we get there. So what I do, I just place a link to start with something. It's gonna be a 3-lane one in the middle, I think. Okay, I create a display type, a transparent display type to help with the model. These are transparent ones in the bottom. Okay. And I select it to be the transparent. Or you can do the same here. So if I just check, maybe not on the bridge. So if I check the lane widths, so it seems it can use a little bit of extra. So if I put it to 3.6, or you can just select all the three and put it like that. Okay, and now I just roughly align it. I'm not going to waste a lot of time, and on this one it's not that key at this stage, and anyway it is not that important. We will deal with the edge later, because you can see there is, it seems, a waving section as well. Okay, so let's start here. So as you can see, there is a 3-lane section coming in and a 2-lane one. And there is a merge here, but it seems it's a weave. So this is something you probably want to consider in your model. So to model this intersection without that weave is not advised. And so you probably what you want to do is you want at least to extend it to this location. At least to that location. Of course, you know, you can't go forever. Back and back and back. You need to stop your model somewhere. And again, it's better to just agree on the network extent with your and prof or the authority you are working for. So what we do, I split the link there. And here as well. This is gonna be a 5-lane one. Like that. 5-lane one. Then this section up to this point is a 4-lane one. I set up the connectors like that. Well, it's probably safe to move it a little bit higher, that 5-lane section, because people will still be able to move and queue along that wide segment. And here, I want to duplicate it, and I want a 2-lane road here. So something else. Since it's a freeway, we need to set a freeway rule. So if I just go links, I select all of them and just go with the default freeway. In the States, probably that's a safe way to do. And if it doesn't work the way you want, we can always, or you can always tweak it. And so now I just connect it. Because you need to validate the model, and when you validate, you need to set up certain, especially for these merges maybe, to change the driving behavior. But let's look at that in a much later video when it's ready and the model is running. Okay. Okay. And here, what we have here. Okay. Okay, so that is an exit lane. So in Vissim, to model it this way, so you can model it with a single lane like that. Let's do it this way, and when we run the model, we will have a look and maybe change it, because this alternative route choice can cause problems later. Because basically we have 2 exits. But we will try to close edges and deal with that. So I will show you what that means later. Okay. Now we have a 2-lane section here. Okay. Here we can just add basically a connector, because that is a shared exit lane. And so it is fine like that. If you like, wireframe. Like that. Now the 2-lane section. I'm going to build this model in 2D. I might create a separate video where I convert it to 3D. Just that's quite a lot of extra work, and I'm not going to spend time on it at the moment. Okay. I just want to put a skeleton together so we can have something we can start doing some tests and stuff. And I like to keep and do one step at a time, and then okay, let's do this slip road. It's not the best footage here, so I hope I will make it correct. um, I hope I think this link comes up to here. Okay, I will join it into that road segment a bit later, that stretch. Okay, I create then this one. It's a single lane. Oh, this goes all the way. Then goes there. The next one I might use the automation tool to create these intermediate points because it's quite time consuming. But again, I don't think it is that important for me on this for this example to do as many points as accurately as possible. Okay, so okay, let's assume that this merge is there. Okay, let's deal with that movement later. So let's carry on the main line. So there is a merge from there. Okay, where that comes from? That comes from up there. Okay, we can try create some points automatically here. Okay. There is a little bit there, but it's all right. Okay. Okay. All right. So now this merge, we will need to deal with the settings. I will do it in a second. So here we split it because we need to create that merge. Okay. So how long that merge goes? It is over somewhere here. Probably like this. This is the point, the last point where two vehicles can be next to each other. So after that it is a 3-lane road. Before that it is a 4-lane road. Okay. Okay, let me start putting the lane change parameters in because I don't want to forget it later. So here, okay, and so this one is 133 left or length, so meters. You want to extend these a little bit so queuing can be captured and lane changes. Okay, so on this one, 200 is the default for that connector. But when do we really want vehicles? Well, it depends on your video. So unfortunately, this is something you need to look at the video or on the site. So how early people start to merge from that fifth lane into that one. And if you look at the intersection here, so probably this is a busy lane. And also here you have all the lanes, 3 lanes, and that 2 curbside merges into one, and that merges back here. So probably this is a busy lane. So probably they start merging in at this point somewhere. That is 300 meters. So if I put 300 meters here, again, this is just my guesstimate. So if you see better on the site, you will know. So here, one more trick. So you can go on Google and check the road, the signs on the gantries. So I can see here signs. Where is the next? So there is a sign here as well. So probably this also shows that where is the this sign as well. So I think it is safe to assume a very long changing distance. So you want to extend these again a bit further. If you have issues with lane changing, better to extend that even more. So here you can put at least the 800 meters, but if you have issues, go a bit further and extend it. So for this lane, so you have 3 lanes. I want them to start. I want them to start merging out. And when you run the model and you see issues, you might need to split this connector, or you might need to add the dummy connector for this lane to direct vehicles into this lane before they come out there. So that is something to consider. We can have a look later. I just put now a larger number, 700 meters. And here, so what you want is the distance for this 3-lane one shouldn't be more than this distance. So it should be somewhere here maybe. So that is maybe 400 meters. Okay. 400 meters. Well, it can be longer as well because probably if vehicles want to drive on the main line, they might come into this lane a bit earlier if they can. Yeah. Put it 550. Okay. and this is also 700. 600. Basically, the longer is better, but in some cases, if you have these kind of, especially if you have especially if you model intersection here, the upstream one, you don't want to have as longer than this intersection because then it can change the flows and can cause issues here. In this case, if the distance goes beyond that line, the model extent, that's also not helpful. Because if you have a lot of traffic coming here, everyone will start changing lane here, so it will create an artificial, an unrealistic, fake queuing. So here, I will stick with 200 meter on this slip road, but we will need to create some edge closures because probably you're not going to exit on this lane if you go here, or probably not a lot of vehicle, and you don't want to do this and then go there. It might happen 1 or 2 times, but probably not the majority. Okay, let's look at then these roads here. Let's start up here. So I think, let me just cut this. Five. Like that. And we have a two. Again, probably I made one urban, so it wasn't correct, the behavior. I hope I will not forget, and I will do a check on it later as well. So okay. So it seems to me, if I can see it correctly, that it's a 3-lane section, and then people merge back to 2 here. So I just move it up here a bit. I cut it maybe here somewhere. It's gonna be a 3-lane one. They will merge. Lane changing distance here, I put a little bit higher, maybe 400, so they can start merging in earlier. Okay. I can't see what's going on. It is a single lane, if I'm right. And the two lane here and 1 lane that merges into 3. I think so. But I can't see it clearly, but okay, I'm going to assume that's the case. If not, sorry. I'm not going to go to Google and check, I don't know how many times. And now I just connect it with connectors. All right. If I don't see the layout correctly, I'm sorry for that. I just don't want to waste even more time going back and forth between Google Earth and all different kinds of aerial footage. I still believe that the principle will go through the video, the idea how to do it. I can't see anything here. Let's worry about that in the next video, what's going on there. Okay. Is it a concrete surface instead of asphalt? That is so wide. Okay. I think it's two. Is it a two-lane road? Yeah, it's two-lane. Splitting into one and one. Okay. That. Okay. I think that after this is a two-lane section again. No. Split that lane. Comes back a bit here. There's another lane. Okay. That is the two-lane. It looks like it merges back to a single lane. But where? I think here. Here. Okay. Split it. So this will be a single one. Maybe somewhere there. Okay. Like that. Okay. I'm going to attempt using that tool again. I just set up some point correctly. Okay. Generate. It's very nice, isn't it? Okay. Let's do this link then. Duplicate. Okay, like that. That. Ah, I got lost where that lane is going. Is it an underpass or something? Or a diverge? Two lane. Ah, the two lane is coming out. So probably that two lane becomes one under the overbridge, or that is what I'm going to assume. I could use the Google Street View, but I think it's I'm lazy to do that, so it should be fine like that. So somewhere the last point. No, that is a single lane coming out. It is a single lane coming out. Of course, if you drive there every day, you probably know this much better. Okay. All right. Okay. So now let's go. Is that a service road? Yeah, it seems so. That's a service. I did something wrong here. I just corrected. Okay. Let's go then to the other runs. I am just copy paste this. Okay. Okay, from now on it will be a multi-lane section for the merge. It's actually a weaving section. Okay, so we need to consider actually both exits. So if I split it, how many is that? This is 7, 6, 6 lanes. Okay. Okay. I think I'm going to wrap this up in this part and we carry on with the rest later. And basically, in the next one, we are going to finish that and the remaining roads. And we consider what's going on here and in the north and in the south. I just don't want to have super long videos, but I also don't want to speed it up. You can skip as many parts as you want. Just since I also always mention something, how, why I do that, I don't want to just speed it up. So yeah, thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next ones.